What's up, guys? Cal here. About to do my first ever banter blitz session. This is a test run on our screen capture slash audio options, so just let us know how it all looks and sounds in the comments. I'm gonna just jump in late to the Our Super Blitz Arena, make a little shorter video for this first ever pilot run. Playing on my dad's account, so probably lose a lot of rating points, unfortunately. He's a little higher rated than me on this blitz. Starting against Swytech 1699. Doesn't say his country, but we're just going to play our standard QCD. QGD, that's what I meant to say there. Abbreviations sometimes slip away from me. We're standing in a solid 105th place as we are joining about half an hour after the start of this tournament. He's getting the knights out early, developing sensibly, but nah, I'm going to beat him. So this should pretty much force a mass exchange in F3. I'll just pre-move that. Yeah, guys, I've been at college for the last several weeks. Just got done taking finals yesterday, actually, and he decides to give me a little post-finals present by giving me a free piece on E5, which I'll happily take. And now we should get a trade. Do I want a castle still? Yeah, let's just save that option. I'm attacking C4 now, too, so he'll have to take measures against that. He's giving me a check on B4. I'll just block. If he wants to trade, that's fine. Damages my pawn structure a little bit, but I'm up a piece, so how bad could it be? Alrighty, castles. A castle, yeah. My bishop's doing a nice job covering the 7th ring, so he can't invade so easily with his rook. I'm not too eager to take the c4 pawn, unless he attacks my knight. I mean, it's just going to be hanging there for a while. It's tough to defend. So let's see where he goes from here. My knights are just beasts in the center of the board right now. Alright, he's not taken still. I kind of want to reroute this knight. I don't really want to mess up my pawn structure. But he's got b5, and my other knight is a little short of squares. We're just going to do that anyway, though. I think we can go back to a3, and if he wants to trade, I'm fine with that. I'm up a piece, as I have said many times. Being up a piece is more than good compensation for a number of structural weaknesses. Also, most importantly, I'm doing excellent on the clock. Got about a 40-second edge. He does attack my knight. I'm just going to proceed as I said. Go back to a3. He doesn't want to trade. That's sensible. You got to keep pieces on the board when you're behind. But now, I think I'll bring that knight back. Maybe get him to d4 and over to f5. Knight g4. He's attacking my h2 pawn, but I do see that. So, what's your next plan? Maybe he's going to go to e5? I don't know. I mean, he's trying cheapos, which is sensible, considering that he's down a piece. Gotta fight for that counterplay, but I don't believe any of it, guys. c5 is my plan. Attack his bishop. On f5, my other knight can come into f4, perhaps. Gotta get my rooks into the game. He's got file control right now, which is my only problem. So, let's solve that. Alright. I'm gonna go b3. Maybe fiend shadow my bishop. Alright, my knight can come back to g3. I'm thinking maybe e4. It'll be attacking f6 and c5, and he does not prevent that. So now I'm attacking his pawn, and I'm threatening to fork his king and rook here. So it's going to be tough to parry both of those. But he's done it with knight d7, but that's very passive. So now I can gain control of the file. I can compete for that. Or I can fiend shadow my bishop. I'm going to do that, actually. Threaten to play knight f6 and trade pieces. Oh, I just dropped my knight on e4. Guys, if you get too cocky, you make stupid moves like that. And that's how the game works. Now, going back to plan A, which is to flag him. Wow. That's how a really good position goes to a really bad position in about 2 seconds. So let's just try to be active with our rooks. What's the damage? We're down a pawn now. So, I mean, we're still in the game. But, yeah. Really shameful technique on my part. He's down under 20 seconds, though, so he's going to have to reel off the moves like lightning here. Let's put my bishop on an Africa square. I still got the bishop over the knight advantage here in this open endgame. And he did give up mate in 2, I think. That bishop is taking away his king's white squares. So it was ugly, but it was a W, and it was my first game back since college, guys. I did not play much over the last few months, and it showed right there, obviously, with that horrendous endgame technique. But we're off the mark. All right, next opponent is Ereme from Armenia. Armenia, a very strong chess country, as I'm sure many of you are aware. We'll try the Scandinavian this time. It's one of my favorite openings against e4. f4, I've not seen that one against queen takes d5. I'll just develop normally. I don't believe f4 at all, guys. I'm going to be honest. Let's put my bishop on g4. Let's see what he's got planned. Wow, f4. I'm a little rattled by that one, guys. Let's put my pawn up. Okay, we're going to play like this. And let's put the bishop up. So, yeah, I guess perhaps he wants to launch a kingside attack, but I've got to be quick on my counterplay queenside. Typical idea in the Scandinavian is to make that c5 advance, try to undermine your opponent's center, and give you the counterplay on the queen side to oppose their king sign exploits. So now I'm just going to challenge that knight on e5. If he takes on c5, I can take on e5 first, and that should be good for me. And I'm also putting more pressure on d4. Alright, knight a3. I'll take once on d4 and reevaluate. Can I get away with knight takes d4 here is the question. So I'm attacking his queen, so he moves his queen. I'm going to go for it. I think my queen's well defended. He can't pin my knight because I have knight takes e2 with check, so that's the good thing for us right here. And once he moves his queen, I'm just going to play knight f5 or something like that. I might even take on a3. See, now he's played rook d1, but the problem for him is I'm taking his queen with check. So that's a free queen, and free queens are one of my favorite things, guys. He didn't even attack my knight. He probably could have won it, since I couldn't have defended it with my queen. He's gone to h1 instead. I mean, the hope here is pretty much gone at this point. I'm just going to move my queen away. The only thing is I just can't lose on time. Let's put it on, yeah, e4 should be fine. I'm just going to take his knight on a3 after he moves his bishop. And he's not going to move his bishop. He's going to put his knight on c4, actually. Alright, but that knight is kind of overloaded. I'll try b5 and see where that knight's going to go, because his knight's defending e3 right now. And if it moves, that's going to be another free piece, which I would very much enjoy having. So, Ereme is in some trouble here. About even on the clock. And my endgame technique is better than my last attempt. We should be able to see this one out. Alright, he's pinned my knight. Considering just parting ways with that knight, I'll put my queen to f2. Just see what he does. He could probably just play knight d3, and then I'll just part with that knight. Maybe then I have queen d4 attacking his knight. He's gone knight d to f3. Just got to make sure my queen doesn't get trapped in there, but I don't think it is. In fact, this is probably not good, but we're just going to sack my knight. Get that pawn. His king is exposed now. Maybe I can take advantage of that. I'm thinking knight g4. Trade off with knight, or if he doesn't, he's just going to resign. It was pretty much over. I was going to go knight g4, maybe into f2. So 2 wins out of 2. You can see my dad just played and lost a game before I started this session, but I promise you I'm 2 out of 2 so far. About 18 minutes to go in this tournament. See if we can get a couple more games in. We're playing, Sumit Singh. 21-16, very solid rating out of India. We'll try knight f3 first move. Switch it up a little bit, see what he does. c5, okay. Wants to get into Sicilian structure. I'm going to go c3 instead, though. It's got e6, fair enough. I'll play d4. And let's play a4. I don't want a quick b5. If he goes b5, I can take, and his rook is unprotected in the back rank. Instead, he's gone queen c7. It's very sensible. I'll go e3, just further trying to guard against that b5 square. Try to limit his counterplay on the queen side. Let's point that bishop at h7. So now, got a few options. I'm just gonna castle here. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna eventually want to play e4 and e5 potentially, and see if we can get at h7 possibly. Displace that just solid defensive piece that is his knight on f6. First I'm just going to try to... Okay, he's starting knight b4, so I gotta take measures against that. And I think I'm going to just do that by playing knight e4 and pinning it to his queen. I might play rook ac1 and move my queen back to b1 just to get it out of the way on that file. It's gone d5. I'm going to trade at least a little bit of a hole on e5. Move my rook over to c1 as I stated I would do before and drop back to b1. I might even go for b4, b5 now. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. So now we've switched sides here. I was originally planning to do stuff on the king's side, but now I'm thinking I might have a bit of an initiative over here on the queen's side. If he castles, I have b5, displace the knight, bishop b4, and I'll be skewering him. So let's go in for that. Once that knight moves, bishop b4 will be winning me in exchange. My dad just informed me he does have knight e7. But so that does put the pressure on him to see it though, so we'll see. Missed that one. I thought for sure I was winning the exchange. I forgot. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes retreating moves are the hardest spot. He's missed that though, so I think now we will be winning the exchange. If he takes the rook, I'm obviously just gonna take back my rook, not my queen. And taking with the queen is a poor choice now, I think, because now I'm coming into c7. So that rook, he might have bishop d8 back, but we'll see. See what he comes up with there. Yeah, he's gonna go for bishop d8 back. All right, rook d7, queen e8, knight e5. I don't like that. I'm not feeling it, guys. We're just gonna drop back to c3, I think, for right now. But now his pieces are all a little passive. Now we're gonna go in for knight e5, especially since we played g6. He can't displace with f6 so easily now. I think g6 was a bit of a poor decision. I see where he wanted to make the loop for his king. But now this knight on e5 is an absolute monster. f5, that drops the g6 pawn, and I do like free pawns, guys. It's gone queen g7, okay. Considering sacking, but I think it's a little premature. I'm just going to drop it back. He's got no threats against my kings, guys. I'm just going to play h3 so he doesn't march that h pawn off the board, get a little king lift. His knight on a5 is an absolutely abysmal piece at this precise moment in time. Bishop f6. c6 is possible. See, now if he takes, I'm going to have a quick c pawn, guys. Okay, let's check the clock out. I'm under a minute. He's got about a minute 15. But we're close to the end game now. And this knight's got nowhere else to go, so I think he's almost obliged to take. He lets me take. He'll have a weak a5 pawn. f4. If I take, he'll take on d4. It's the only problem. I don't want that. But then you take his bishop with your knight. But then he's got queen takes. His king is wide open. Yeah. Alright, we're just going to do it quickly. Yeah, do that. We'll pre-move this. I think he's dead if he takes you. Alright, we're gonna give it a check on h7.
Oh, I just say rook c7. That's really strong because he's got no rook check.
Move our rook into the 7th. So if he attacks my rook, I'm going to play queen g6. I'll probably play queen g6 in most situations. Yeah.
Queen g6 threatened mate.
Got threat on g8. If he takes my rook, I got queen g8 mate. That's going to be tough to stop for him, guys. Queen back to f8.
Bishop g8.
Yeah, queen back to f8, I have bishop
That's
g8.
Nice. Then queen h6 if he takes it.
And that's going to be knight-knight, I do believe. Because if he takes my bishop, I can just slide over to h6. So
right, look at that.
We're going to go. This is actually quite nice, guys. I'm not to toot my own horn here, but this is a nice little combination. Got to give some credit to my kibitzer in the background. But yeah, and that's going to draw the resignation. So that's a decent scalp for us, guys. As I said, I was playing on my dad's account. My actual Blitz rating is about a good 150 points lower than his. So we were about equal.
Me and him. Got my Blitz rating.
So we were about equal in rating, me and that last guy, considering that my actual Blitz rating on this site is much lower than the one that you guys are seeing right now, which is my dad's. And we have a non-mover. Oh, here we go. He's gone E4, going Scandinavian once again. He's taken. Let's see if, yeah, he doesn't go for F4. Not surprising. We'll try the Queen A5 line. Just play sensible, normal moves. Bishop E5. I was going to play C6 anyway. I'm not really understanding that one. Just gave me a free tempo there, I believe. Once again, we want to avoid Bishop G4, guys, because he's got that. Oh, I didn't have it there because my queen is covering, but in that kind of setup, Bishop G4 can often allow Bishop takes F7 check followed by Knight E5 check, and he will win a pawn and mess up your kingside pawn structure. Double whammy. It's gone for Queen E2. Okay, Bishop D2. Let's move out of the way of the discoveries. That's why I did want to play C6 anyway. So he's castle queenside. He wants to kill me on the king side. And so I'm going to castle and going to quickly launch B5 in the coming moves. Like right now. So if his bishop goes back to B3, I'm going for A5. A3, we'll try B4. So now he almost has to take, and that's going to give me a nice A file. Okay, he's going to allow me to take twice on A3. But this has got to be good for us at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, I got to get my knight into the action. Let's try knight D7. Alright, knight H4. So he's going to take my... We'll let him take on G6 if he wants. That's a better square for me to allow that capture, I think. Pre-move that capture into that. It's gone for G4. Right.
Rook B8?
And I'm going to play Rook B8 and Knight C5, guys, and go for that bishop on B3. He's probably going to play King A2 at some point. F4, he's going to try to trap my bishop. Actually, it's not trapped because if I take, he takes the pawn, I got bishop H5 skewering his queen to his rook. So we're just going to continue on with the plan I had and see where that leads us. Alright, he's taken, but now I'm threatening A4 winning his bishop, so he's got to move his king. Alright. I'm going to go for A4. So my pawns just beat his down the board a little bit, guys, and that's important when you're fighting for the counterplay. You gotta get your pawns rolling and not be too subtle about it. I'm gonna go B2, Queen A5, and look for Queen A1, I think. Should I allow his queen to come into E6? Is that gonna bother me?
Queen takes.
Yeah. We'll re-up my queen for a moment. And we're gonna go for Rook B6, and I'm gonna swing my other rook over and try to do some damage to him. Push back to E7. Yep, see now my queen can check, we're forking his king and bishop. Don't think he'll be able to salvage that piece. I thought he was going to go G5 in the previous move and win my knight potentially, but he didn't go for that. So my plan is simply rook f over to a8 and come down to a1. So he's probably going to go king c2 here. Oh yeah, I didn't see my pawn was hanging, guys. You gotta warn me about that. So we'll check him. We're still up 2 pieces, so I'm not that concerned. Let's go queen d5 check, actually. See what he's got planned for that. c4, I'll go queen a5. And we should be doing the business to him here, ladies and gentlemen. Threatening queen b4, and then queen into b2 potentially. I'm not seeing them mate quite yet, but that should be good for us. I might start with rook b8 check, actually, guys. Rook b8 and b2. So let's put him into the think tank. He's got about a minute left. Yeah, we're gonna go for rook check. Queen a4. So his king is running out of squares. Alright, we're just gonna trade. I don't see anything better than that. Don't want to allow perpetual. Yeah, I'm just gonna take c4. He doesn't have a perpetual. I can slip out to h7. Back to b1. It doesn't go back to b1. Alright, we'll check with the bishop. Try to get that in the game. I want to come my queen. I want to come into d3. And we're going for the mate, guys. That's basically what we're doing here. He doesn't have any checks right now. He doesn't have any checks right now. And I've just noticed that we have bishop a3 mate. My queen was doing a good job of taking away all his flight squares. So we've gone 4 for 4. Looks like we'll have time for one more game before this session's over. Been a little slow in the tactics, you guys, but I'm going to blame that on filling my brain with other facts from university. We're playing Rabe in our last game. Sorry if I mispronounced that. He's also out of India. Player standard Queen's Pawn opening here. Gone for a King's Indian defense. Oh, he's played d5. Alright, we're going to go for this line. Alright, so I'm just going to play my knight out. Let's get a rook off that diagonal. Might go bishop a3. Alright, we're just going to defend that pawn one more time. I might go bishop b5, threaten d5. It couldn't have been on that last move. He's going to take a check. No, I'll still take a check.
But they don't have. If he takes a check, you take him.
I think I'll go queen b3 looks alright. Oh wait, no, I've just dropped a pawn. Just dropped a pawn. Oh, I didn't do it. Didn't do it.
Now d5.
Yeah, now we're gonna go for d5, guys. I just dropped that pawn. It's pinned. Luckily, he didn't do it. Which I'm very surprised by, because he's geared up for that move.
Yeah, exactly.
I let him do it to me. Oh, it's been a little bit shambolic, guys, on our first day back. We're gonna trade and play. Wait a second. Yeah, we're just gonna play bishop e2. I think I'm gonna try to just get out of that pin as soon as possible. Play c4. Try to solidify my structure a little bit. I want to trade off these dark squared bishops if I can. So let's get a castle here. I'm gonna take with the pawn. He takes on d5. And he hasn't gone for that. Let's play c4 and make him take on f3. I think that'll help our position. So now I'm attacking his knight twice. Or do I want to take the queen even? No, my a2 pawn is hanging in that situation. So
Yeah, you might.
we'll just pre-move that. About even on the clock. Been struggling a bit on the clock. It's hard to play and talk, guys. I've seen guys like John Bartholomew and Jan Gustafsson doing it on YouTube, and they make it look a lot easier than it actually is. So we're definitely going to take and give a check on c3. See what he's got for that. He plays e5, which is kind of what I'm hoping for. I've got a long-term advantage in the past d pawn. I think what I'm going to do is try to move my bishop out of the way and maybe get an f4.
I like that. Or rook b3, double on that.
So this e5 pawn is committed now. He's played g5. I'm thinking defense for f4, but I'm going to play it anyway. Because if he takes, I got my rook taken.
What a move! What a move!
So
That is a crushing move.
He takes, rook takes, then I'm threatening some queen g3 kind of stuff, guys. This is looking positive. We're going for queen g3 check now. King f7, I have bishop h5, so that's what I'm looking for. King anywhere else, and I'm going for rook takes f6, but he's gone king f7. King e7, what I'm going to do is play queen g7, and I think we might be winning this queen, because after king d6, got rook takes f6, and that's going to be mate, actually, guys. So that's going to be it for today. I could jam in one more game, but I don't really feel that it's necessary for this tournament. Overall summary, the play wasn't great. It improved. Endgame technique was poor. But overall, a decent first session. Undefeated record, can't be too unhappy about that. And thanks for watching, and I'll upload another video soon.